Hello, good evening. Welcome to News Night here on Metro Television. My name is Bridget Otu. Always a pleasure to join you in your various homes. We're live on Twitter at Metro TVGH, on Facebook it's at News Night, and at Metro TV Ghana. Let's begin with the headlines tonight. The Chinese embassy in Ghana breaks silence on Aisha Wan's arrest, urges authorities to deal with Chinese Galamsey suspects in accordance with Ghanaian laws. Also, lawyer for the Elembele District Chief Executive Kwesi Bonzo, detained by police following scuffle over missing excavators retrieval, says he has been denied access to her clients. And government giving a week's ultimatum to pay delayed allowances due nurses and midwifery trainees in a protest that lasted for long hours along some principal streets of Accra. Will get a response from government. Now, Ghanaians in South Africa prevented from accessing healthcare and other public facilities as xenophobic protests and attacks become imminent. On the international front, 15 people die after heavy rains trigger landslides in Uganda. We have details of these stories and more all in the next 60 minutes. Thank you again for joining us. Hello again, and our very first story tonight. And Chinese embassy in Ghana has broken its silence on the arrest of Galamsey kingpin Aisha Wan, urging authorities to deal with Chinese Galamsey suspects in accordance with Ghanaian laws. And we turn to the video just to bring you the statement from the embassy spokesperson here. The Chinese government has always requested Chinese citizens overseas to abide by the laws and regulations of host country, firmly opposes Chinese citizens to engage in any illegal activities in any country, and supports the Ghanaian government to fight against illegal mining according to the law. We respect the Ghanaian side to deal with relevant case according to the law. We hope the Ghanaian side fully safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese citizens. So in one breath, they are saying they respect Ghanaian laws, and they're also saying that you should safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese citizens. So that's the statement from the Chinese embassy. And Member of Parliament for Sisala West and Member of Parliament's Lands and Forestry Committee, Mohammed Adams Sukparu, is raising concerns over the circumstances under which the Galamsey kingpin Aisha Wan re-entered the country despite being deported for engaging in illegal mining, while accusing government officials of being complicit in her return. He's also demanding a thorough probe into the issue.
Aisha Wan, who was arrested in May 2017 and charged for undertaking illegal mining in the country, was deported but later found her way back into Ghana illegally. The Galamsey Queen had been in the country operating at an illegal mining site until her arrest in Kumasi last Friday by national security operatives. Aisha Wan has since been charged with 2 counts of engaging in the sale and purchases of minerals without valid license, contrary to Section 99 of Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2015. A member of Parliament's Mines and Natural Resources Committee, Mohammed Adams, believes Aisha was able to sneak into the country with support from powerful people.
And I think that because government is not being truthful to the people of this country, because if you look at the surrounding happenings around this whole issue, it tells you that Aisha Wan, or I don't even know her name, that she didn't just get a notoriety by herself, but it tells you there is a serious power behind her operations in this country. And so for me, people are saying that she was deported and she actually came back into the country through illegal means. I have a different view. I think that I believe that the woman was never deported. She was only kept somewhere. Perhaps, I mean, she was protected by the people in government. Because if indeed she was deported, at what point did she come back into the country?
Meanwhile, some Ghanaians have expressed shock over the re-emergence of the Galamsey Queen.
Concerning Aisha Wan's issue, I think there are laws in Ghana, and it's high time we let the laws apply. Because if a similar thing happens in China, how are they going to take it? I know how they are strict with their rules and how they punish even their own citizens. We have Ghanaians who are languishing in jail because of this Galamsey thing. So why should someone be given the chance to go back to her country and then she has the audacity to come back again, to come and continue what she was doing at first? That's not fair to the people of Ghana. And I think our country needs to show leadership by taking strict measures in handling this thing so that we can believe in the government that he's really fighting the Galamsey case and it's not a lost case.
It saddens my heart that a person that was deported was managed her way to get into the coffers of Ghana. It's really, really, really sad. Now, illegal mining has been a canker on this country. I think this is a nice opportunity for us to persecute the lady so that it will serve as a deterrent to the others, so that this illegal mining thing will stop once and for all.
I was a little bit amazed that, so then it means that Aisha Wan has somebody within the government who always help her, because how can somebody who was arrested and deported back to his country gain the opportunity to come back to this country? So I was amazed, but once she's been arrested once again, we are praying that she will be prosecuted and then face the law.
The government have to set up and put certain things in place, because it's making our name very bad in the international world.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice has ordered the Ghana Police Service to make available to his outfit the docket of Aisha Wan. In a series of tweets on Tuesday, the Attorney General assured that the Galamsey Queen will be made to face the law for both her past and current offences. The story of re-arrest of Aisha Wan.
So, a business center of embattled Chinese Galamsey kingpin Aisha Wan within the Kumasi metropolis has not been closed down, as was speculated in the media. And our Ashanti regional correspondent Abdul Basit Suleiman earlier in the day inspected some businesses purported to belonging to Aisha and has filed this report.
The Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah, who doubles as the chairman of the Ashanti Regional Security Council, was reported to have said that all businesses of the embattled Chinese Galamsey kingpin have been closed down in Kumasi. However, a check by Metro News indicated that a grocery shop at Adiebeba in the K Apia building complex belonging to Aisha is operational as at Wednesday, September 7, 2022. The workers at the shop, both Chinese and Ghanaians, have shied away from the media, adding that the shop belongs to someone else, not for Aisha Wan, even though she used to visit the shop more often. Also, Chief Executive Officer of the Jintang Massage Center debunked the claim that the spa belongs to Aisha, adding that she instead owns it with her husband. She expressed worry over how her business has declined as a result of videos of her facility being circulated widely in the press as belonging to Aisha. She, however, urged the public to disregard the claims, adding that the place has not been closed down and no security personnel has visited the place for any reason.
Feel not fine. This one see all TV and inside internet. This one same TV. This one lie. This one not for us. Because me here open same 6 years. Stay here 6 years. This one for me, not Asa. Me see same like it, me not lie and not fight. Very, very not fight.
It's a Jintang massage, and it's owned by a Thailand woman called Nancy Sirian, not a China woman, Aisha. Aisha stays next to her house, and she often comes for massage. Then she returns to her house. Yesterday we heard the news on YouTube that here is for Aisha, but it's not for her. The way people have been coming on since yesterday and today, it has reduced.
Right, and lawyer for the Elembele District Chief Executive, Kwesi Bonzo, who was detained by police on Wednesday, September 7, 2022, says he has been denied access to her client. The DCE was detained by the police for alleged obstruction after one out of the two missing excavators the police were searching for was found in Ankobra. Now, Western Regional Correspondent Zambaga Rufai Saminu has more.
Chief Executive for Elembele, Kwesi Bonzo, has been held by the Western Regional Police Command for allegedly obstructing them on their way to Takrade with one of the missing excavators they found within the forest of Elembele. He was arrested with 3 others to assist the police in the conduct of their investigations. The other 3 are Francis Akpene, Elembele NPP Constituency Secretary, Jeff Aswa of Esiama, Elembele NPP Constituency Communications Team member, and one Podolski, identified as the driver of Elembele DCE. A legal representative of the DCE, lawyer Erica Salome Abeka, who visited the Western Regional Police Command to ascertain the whereabouts and condition of her client, could not get access to him following refusal by the police to grant her permission.
My client has been brought here from the reports and from sources within the police regional office. He is within this place, and so I'm here to ensure that forgive me, his liberty is assured and that he is made to go home and be with his family. He doesn't spend any more time than is necessary. He will go home tonight. By close of the day, he should be going on his way to Elembele.
She said she heard the news on radio and had to rush to the police station to ascertain the facts and advise her client accordingly. Unfortunately, she could not get access to her client and left disappointed.
I came here in the morning. Immediately he was brought, I was here trying and make contact with my clients. I was told to wait. I hung around for a while, almost an hour, and then I had to go and come back. And yet I've not been able to make any form of contact. Not spoken with him, not seen him, nothing.
All journalists who pitched camp at the police headquarters have equally been waiting anxiously to receive information from the police or the DCE.
And our correspondent is on the line to tell us more about, why the lawyer was denied access to the DCE. A very good evening, and thank you very much, Rufai.
Yeah, good evening.
Right. What reasons was assigned to the denial, to the lawyer being denied access to the DCE?
At the moment, it is unclear what were the reasons assigned by the police. As we speak, the lawyer is now inside with the police, working around the clock to make sure that the DCE is free so that he can go home. What, in fact, the lawyer said was that she made attempt, to speak to the police, to allow space for her to speak to her client, and they denied that. She left, and then she came back again, and still they refused. But the police did not give her any concrete reason as to why they were not allowing her. So at the moment that they've given her access, she's inside with the police. As to whether they've allowed her to meet her client is undecided yet. We don't know unless when she comes out. Then
but what do we know about the meeting between her and the police? Is it simply to appeal to them so she can have the privacy? We have the attorney-client privacy to speak to her clients. Is that all?
Yeah, basically she is making frantic efforts to get the attention of the police so that they will allow her to have access to her client. But at the moment, she's also locked up inside. So we are waiting for her to come out to tell us whether they've given her access to speak to her client or whether they've given her access to kind of put up a case that will allow the police to grant her client a bail, a kind of bail condition or whatever, so that he will gain his freedom back. But at the moment, we are all, guarded here. All the journalists who are covering the unfolding events are gathered
all there. All right. Rufai, so what about Elembele? How have they received this news? and the excavators turning up. And has this in any way soiled his image as a DCE?
And people are confused because the whole Elembele District Security Council, DISEC, is kind of divided. Many people believe that the DCE has been, at the forefront of fighting to kind of deal with the canker of illegal mining in the area.
Okay.
But others are also believing in the stories being told by the police that some top officials in government or within the district assembly are also neck deep in this illegal mining business. And that is the reason why they've not been able to use the law enforcement agency to deal decisively with this menace.
Okay.
But if you've been following the development, the DCE has also maintained the position that the judiciary and then the police service have not also been helping matters. And that's the reason why people are confused. Who is telling the truth?
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for talking to us. And we'll definitely wait for what becomes or what comes out of the meeting between the police and the lawyer and see if the DC will be given a bail. All right, so let's continue with the rest of our stories. And the National Health Students Association of Ghana and the Unemployed Health Professionals have given government a week's ultimatum to pay their delayed allowances. Now, they say that it will continue to mount pressure on authorities if their demands are not met.
The aggrieved interns started the demonstration at the Obrasport, marched through some principal streets of Accra, and ended at the Independence Square, where they presented a petition to the government. Allied health interns are owed 11-month allowance arrears, whilst those for nursing and midwifery trainees cover a 10-month period.
If you see the current news trending, you see nurses writing the IOTs, the NCLEX, trying to move out of the country because they feel like they're not being respected. The public just speaks anyhow about nurses because of how some of these people treat we as nurses. So I don't think it's really a fair thing to.
Us personally, I have actually been part of the team who have been going to the ministries. I think when all these things started, we started going to the Ministry of Health concerning our money and all these things. And day in and day out, they assure us of good results. So we go and we come back, we go and we come back, and we realize that nothing is actually yielding. And they are just giving us empty promises.
Assuring them of government's commitment to resolve the matter, the public relations officer of the Ministry of Health, Isaac Ofer, said his outfit is already working to issue payment through the Ministry of Finance by Monday, September 12.
The nursing training allowance have been paid last Monday, so we expect that by the end of this week, the students should receive them in their accounts. We can also assure you that the Minister of Health, Honorable Kweku Agyemang-Manu, is readily and ably working towards the sources of all of this. As you are aware, we are only expecting the clearance from the Ministry of Finance, and once that is done, we will not hesitate into rolling all the expertise on board by posting them, especially the 2019 batch. And those that you rightly mentioned that have been in the portal already, I can assure you that we will call you as a committee, address that issue, and everybody and Ghanaians will all understand exactly what we are doing.
But are the members of the National Health Students Association of Ghana happy about the latest promise?
They said that in over months ago, yet we have not seen any clear path towards any of such. No financial clearance has been released, no biometric registration, no staff ID, nothing has yet begun. And all these processes that I've mentioned, most of the time even takes a period of 5 months. So what are you telling us? We have already finished.
The members say they will not relent until their demands are met, threatening another demonstration across the regions. They also kicked against a proposal by the Youth Employment Agency to recruit senior high school graduates to work at the various CHIPS compounds dotted across the country.
Right, and we're going on the phone to speak to the Public Relations Officer of the Health Ministry, Isaac Ofer. Very good evening, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening, Regina.
Right. What more can you share with us? I mean, you heard them say they don't believe that it will be done. If you can just share with us, is there any paperwork, as they call financial clearance, to show that there's evidence of them being integrated or being employed?
Yes. Good evening to your cherished listeners.
Good evening.
And viewers. What we can say is that with regards to the nursing trainings, the nursing training allowance, I can tell you on authority that the money has been released, part of the money has been released and has been forwarded, and by Monday next week, the students are expected to see that in their various accounts.
Okay, what has accounted for the delay? What accounted for the delay?
What accounted? The delay is as a result of a response from the Ministry of Finance. We in the Ministry of Health have already forwarded all the necessary documents. And like they rightly said, it's a joint thing that we do. We send their proposals to the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance then give us the clearance before we are able to recruit them. As I speak to you now, we have a clearance for the ministry to recruit 458 medical doctors, which we are going to open the portal by Monday, so that those batch of medical doctors that have not been recruited yet can log on, and then they will be posted to their various places of.
What about the 2019 nurses?
Yes, now that, like I said, now that we are able to get the doctors, we are expecting that the Ministry of Finance will readily respond to the 2019 batches, the backlog that we have. And once that comes, we will equally post all of them.
But as we speak, there is nothing to indicate that the 2019 nurses will be employed at this time. I mean, there's clearance for the 450 plus medical doctors.
As we speak, we have not received any clearance from Ministry of Finance. And until we receive the clearance from Ministry of Finance, we will not be able to do that. But then the Ministry of Finance and the management of the Ministry of Health are collaborating in working seriously into making sure that the clearance are released as early as possible, so that those backlog of 2019 badges would also be rolled on board.
What is the issue? What accounts for it? Why do we need nurses, but we're unable to absorb them into the system? I mean, not just even for public, even private health facilities have said that, they need them, but they are unable because there's no financial clearance. Is it a monetary issue?
Yeah, we can't say that really. It's a process that we follow. It's a process that we do all the time. Whenever they are out, we send the list and the number of students that have completed to the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance then release the clearance for us before we are able to recruit them. In this particular issue, we have the release coming, and we have some of the names that have been omitted, which brought about 3-4 months ago some issues that we met the leadership of the students, and then we explained things to them. What we are doing now is to make sure that the remaining backlog that has not been released would come out, and then we'll be able to put all of them on board. And I can tell you, the Minister of Health, Honorable Kweku Agyeman-Manu, is not sleeping on issues like this. He's working hardly in order for us to get them back to work.
All right. Isaac Ofei, thank you very much for talking to us. He's the PRO for the Ministry of Health. And residents of Osino in the Fantiakwa South District in the Eastern region have reacted to the deplorable state of the Osino Samai Road. Now, around 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday, September 7, 2022, scores of irate residents had no option than to block the road to register their displeasure towards the companies using the heavy trucks to destroy the road. And they insist the company constructs their road before they can use it. And none could mention the name of the company, but believe it's a mining companies that are causing the havoc on the road.
Yes, you say you're fine. Send your TV out and yet, as you manage, send your money to me. Yes, I can say you don't have your best. I am sure. I put them. And I'm so very nice. The commerce, almost like you say, I didn't know say, money, you say, I'm young on with you, say, one on with you. What would you tell me? What do I say? Economy, me and your offer.
Right, you're live here on Newsnight on Metro Television. There's more news to come. And in South Africa, they say that the Ghanaians have been prevented from accessing public facilities as threats of xenophobic attacks become imminent. After the break, we'll tell you more.
Most of the South Africans are saying that the foreign nationals are stealing jobs that belong to South Africans. So what they are trying to do is to stop the foreign, or they are trying to prevent the foreigners from accessing health services in some of the hospitals as of now.
Welcome back to News Tonight. We're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana and at News Tonight, and on Twitter at Metro TV GH. And Ghanaians in South Africa say they are being prevented from accessing healthcare and other public facilities due to the imminent protest against foreign nationals by South Africans. Now, Edward Kote Kolete, a Ghanaian living in South Africa, told Metro News that they are taking measures to avoid any form of attack while they wait for government intervention.
Africans from outside South Africa have been accused for economic insecurity, crimes, and government failures for which they have been targets of attacks, looting, among other injustices. This prompted the Ghana mission in the country to issue a statement urging members of the Ghanaian community to be vigilant as some groups opposed to their existence plan to remove foreigners from their jobs this month. Edward Kote Kolete, a Ghanaian living in South Africa, in an earlier interview said they are already being mistreated.
Most of the South Africans are saying that the foreign nationals are stealing jobs that belong to South Africans. So what they are trying to do is to stop the foreign, or they are trying to prevent the foreigners from accessing health services in some of the hospitals as of now.
He noted the embassy's directive urging them to be security conscious is being held high.
I've realized that most of the Ghanaians that we are here in South Africa, we are basically doing our own businesses. We've got salons that belongs to Ghanaians that they are managing, and they've employed South Africans also that are working in here. I myself have got a printing studio here, which I have got, most of my staff here are all from South Africa. But we all have got these documents, probably like this is the asylum document, which is legal for you to be able to work and study in the country. So if you don't have the asylum document, you should be able to have your permit in your passport so that you can be able to live peacefully in the country to avoid any problem.
Prior to 1994, immigrants from elsewhere faced discrimination and violence in South Africa. Between 2000 and 2008, at least 67 people died in what were identified as xenophobic attacks. In May 2008, a series of attacks left 62 people dead, while at least 5 people were killed and 189 arrested during xenophobic attacks and looting in Johannesburg, Pretoria, and other regions in 2019.
Right, and let's visit a story that dominated the headlines some time back. And one of the victims of the explosion in Apiate back in January has died. A 59-year-old woman, Auntie Ama Nsua, passed away on Wednesday dawn according to Apiate Disaster Relief Committee. This was after she spent months in the hospital due to injuries sustained in the blast. She's said to have also undergone an amputation of her left leg at the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital on August 29. The late Ama Nsua was among 954 persons affected by the explosion, which saw which saw over 14 people killed and 155 people sustain various degrees of injury. Meanwhile, the Apiati Support Fund recently announced they had run out of funds and sought support from the public. Daiwo Kwashi is the Public Relations Officer of the Apiati Disaster Relief Committee, and he joins us via Zoom for a conversation on this. Good evening, Daiwo.
Good evening.
I'm sure it's a very solemn mood there, but can you just share more with us on who this woman was and if the amputation had anything to do with why she passed?
Okay, so she was part of those who sustained injuries during the 20th January explosion, but she has been on and off the hospital. After about 5 months, she had to go back to the hospital again because the injuries were not healing.
Okay.
It was later that it was realized that she had diabetes. She was diabetic.
Okay.
So the injury process became very rough. Then 3
Was
weeks
she
ago-
aware? Was she aware that she had diabetes, or she was, but it wasn't known to the committee?
The family, they were aware.
They were aware. All right, that's it.
Yes, the family were aware.
Okay.
So she was referred from Wase Kropong Government Hospital
Okay.
to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital about a month ago. Then on the 29th, she had to be amputated because the wound was probably climbing up. So after the amputation, we were expecting that she was going to recover because we were in touch with the family at Komfo-Anokye, only for us to hear this morning that she couldn't make it.
So is it the committee that takes care of the burial and everything?
Yes,
Or
all
it's the
those
family?
who passed away, we had a package which covers the mortuary fee, the heads for conveyance, and the caskets. We have a package that we give to them to take care of that.
Okay. When the committee says that you've run out of funds, what exactly do you mean by you've run out of funds? There's no, public isn't contributing, government funds has run out. Just share with us to help us appreciate and understand why that is.
Okay, so with the Apiati disaster issue, we have 3 committees in place. One is the Apiati Disaster Relief Committee, which I speak for, and the other is the Apiati Support Fund, which is mobilizing funds for the reconstruction of the community. Then the third one is the Apiati Reconstruction Implementation Committee.
Okay.
So when we say we are out of funds, we mean the Apiati Disaster Relief Committee, not the Apiati Support Fund.
Okay, so the support fund has money. So will you be reaching out to them for funds to help you achieve your goals?
We have done that, but they also have a mandate to get the community reconstructed.
Okay.
You understand? So if they use the same money they are going to use for the reconstruction for this relief purposes, and they are not able to bring the community back, that is also another issue.
Okay.
So, like we started with, the Municipal Assembly, the MC, who is the chairman of the Disaster Relief Committee, probably is in touch with the other committees and the ministry and staff. So where we are handicapped, the MC steps in to get things done, just like we are doing now.
All right.
Donations are very slow, so I would plead with the public to continue to donate to support both the reconstruction and the relief committee. Because as we speak, reconstruction has started and work is seriously ongoing.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Daiwo. Daiwo Kwashi speaks for the relief committee. The disaster relief committee are saying that they have run out of funds and appealing to the general public to support them. Right. You're live here on Newsnight on Metro Television, and we'll look at some more stories in a tad, but we'll take a break and then I'll do business. Be right back.
Welcome back to the program. My name is Kenneth Jesse. In business tonight, studies show that economic partnership agreement may have adverse effects on intra-African trade and could generate significant trade revenue losses for African countries. Nonetheless, the Director of Business Development Services at the Association of Ghana Industries, Johnson Opoku-Boateng, believes both the AFTA and the EPA will rather revolutionize domestic business growth in Ghana and across the continent.
A market of about 1.3 billion, GDP somewhere closing to 3 trillion, is a huge market for Africans. Let's be clear also that the European Union are supporting the AFCFTA, because then it also becomes an advantage to the EU, because then they're having a bigger market where they can actually trade with Africa. If you have one single market, it creates opportunity for consolidation, opportunity for innovation, technology, and so on and so forth. So we are actually talking to the EU and look at opportunities together. Mind you, they have a lot of opportunities for Ghana. They have green projects. They have a West African competitiveness project that is ongoing at the moment. We are having GIZ sponsoring in terms of grants and so on and so forth. So together we are looking at the opportunity that is ahead of us to ensure that Ghanaian businesses are competitive enough to trade in the African market.
Now, as part of efforts to promote sustainable employment, the Enterprise Village Hub has organized a free 6 weeks training on data science and analytics for some unemployed graduates. The move, according to the manager of the hub, is to provide hope for the unemployed youth within the Ayawaso Municipal Assembly. 6 weeks training for some 13 graduates on data science and analytics was to enable the graduates benefit from the program aimed at enhancing the practical skills of beneficiaries. At the local startup summit aimed at providing an avenue for trainees to pitch their innovative ideas for possible funding, manager of Enterprise Village Hub, Mariam Jima, mentioned that the incubation program will enable participants build a career for themselves.
So this is for Ayawaso West. It is mostly in yearly basis. We do every year in what we do. But this year, data science has been an in-demand tech skill, and we decided to actually support or impact the younger ones by providing this free training for them. So the Enterprise Village Hub basically takes them through an incubation program. All of these things happen for free, where they're able to build their businesses or build a career out of data science or anything else that they intend to do.
Derek Degbaju is a data scientist.
We are looking at all the avenues that we can implement across the continent for countries to or nations to be able to build like solutions around that. And I think one of the things that we are looking at is clusters. So these clusters will be able to come out with a lot of businesses, and then these businesses will be able to go down to help other people to get jobs. It will take some time, because definitely we will then have to like churn out a lot of new ideas. And these new ideas will result in a lot of new companies.
Some participants say the 6-week program has been beneficial.
When we started, I was really finding it very difficult with the coding aspect. But as time went on, you realize it became more interesting. And anytime I go home, I want to do more. Yeah, so I'll plead with GTO in their next way if they should extend the duration for us. Because I wouldn't mind doing this for like a year. Because data science is very, very interesting. And I would like to encourage, especially our women out there, you can do it. I didn't have any background, but here I am. I can build models and make predictions for the future.
Some of the topics for the training program includes Python programming language, structure query language, Excel, and Power BI for business intelligence. And that's it for business. We return from the break shortly with the latest in sports. Stay tuned.
It's 46 past 19 hours GMT, and it's time for sports. My name is Phil John Quarte. The 47th edition of the Sports Writers Association Award has been launched here in the nation's capital of Accra, with a call on the president, that is Kwabena Yeboah, for sportsmen and women to be recognized.
The Sports Writers Association of Ghana Awards is an annual event in which sportsmen and women who distinguish themselves during the year under review are honored by the leadership of the association and sponsors. During the 2022 edition, 36 personalities from various sporting disciplines, administrators, and personalities will be recognized. Speaking at the launch of the award in Accra, President of SWAG, Kwabena Yeboah, stated that for the past 46 years, SWAG has honored sportsmen and women who excel in sports. He noted that the aim of the awards is to motivate and encourage sports personalities, but it is expensive as the costs keep on rising each year. He said a big thank you to MTN Ghana for supporting SWAG in the past 12 years.
Let me say a big thank you to our headline sponsors, MTN, who for the last 12 years, for their continuous support, as well as all other organizations and businesses whose generosity has helped sustain the awards. For the past 5 editions, SWAG has done well to hold the ceremony in December, but this year the event will be shifted to January to make room for the 2022 World Cup, which Ghana's Black Stars have qualified to participate in Qatar.
Mrs. Gina Fiagbenu Asare, Senior Manager at the Corporate Department, remarked that MTN Ghana is glad to host sports journalists and prayed to continue with the longest running awards in Ghana to help in honoring our sports heroes.
I think that as a country and also as an association, we also have to be very creative in how we recognize and appreciate the efforts of our sportsmen and women. The SWAG is doing its best, going around appealing for support and getting the necessary resources to do this year after year. And I think that we also need to push SWAG them more to get more sponsors on their side.
Secretary General of SWAG, Mr. Charles Osei Esibe, thanked MTN Ghana and urged sports journalists to promote and make the SWAG Awards trend.
Well, meanwhile, winners of the 2022 Millennium Marathon have been presented with their packages here in Accra.
After excelling creditably by sweeping most of the awards at this year's Millennium Marathon in both race categories and also setting new record, the athletics team of the Ghana Armed Forces, which stood tall, have received their trophies, awards and cash prizes at a simple ceremony here in the nation's capital. In the presence of some top military officers as Bemakam led by the Chief of Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amwamo, the main winners of the Millennium Marathon, including Ishmael Atta and Titi Rosina, received their package. The CDS was more than excited about the success struck by the Ghana Armed Forces team at the race and urged them to train harder and prepare very well for forthcoming events, which include the 2023 African Games to be hosted by Ghana.
Every other event, the All African Games is coming up in a year's time, and I assure you that in the All Africa Games, the Armed Forces team is also going to display.
Catherine Martin is the race director of the Millennium Marathon.
I believe that if these athletes keep going, I think that long distance running has a really, really great future for Ghana. So without much ado, I would like to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to our sponsors who have supported us to bring our dream to light. Thank you to the whole team from Ghana Armed Forces for each year participating. I know Coach Moro, each year Ghana Armed Forces represents very well. I mean, thank you so much for participating.
That's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarte. Up next, Showbiz.
December in Ghana is a unique package of events and programs to make Ghana the preferred tourism destination for Christmas and New Year. Ghana Tourism Authority launched the annual December in GH program to promote Ghana as a December holiday season destination, not only for the Ghanaian diaspora, but also for the global diaspora family. December in GH has been one of the most successful initiatives to date in terms of international arrivals, tourist expenditures, stimulating the economy, and welcoming the diaspora to visit Ghana. The Deputy Minister for Arts and Culture, Marco Krekumante, is charging the tourism industry to brace up for the package this year.
When people get these challenges,
they never return. The worst part of it is that when they don't return, they don't keep quiet. They will tell the whole world that it is not good enough, so they shouldn't come. And so, please, let's take this seriously. Tourism today is very competitive. We are not the only one who have seen it as a low-hanging fruit. Costa Rica says that is their first contributor to their GDP. Other countries, I've mentioned Spain, Dubai, some of them, you know them better than I know. So it's a competitive environment. And so we cannot do the same old things that we do to be able to get the results. We want to make Ghana the hub for tourism in West Africa. And so we are just not going to attract, we want to attract and then retain and get the people who visit to become ambassadors, who say good things about Ghana. And so we are in this together.
Ghana has traditionally had citizens in the diaspora returning home each Yuletide to visit family and friends. Based on that, December in GH was introduced as a new tourism campaign to drive people to Ghana, which is increasingly becoming the destination for Christmas and New Year celebrations. This year's program was launched on August 4th, 2022 by the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal. That was the story for the Deputy Minister for Arts and Culture, Marco Krekumante, has charged the tourism sector to brace up for the incoming December in Ghana this year. According to him, the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Akwesi Agyeman, has worked hard to put Ghana on the map, thus must be protected at all costs. That's it for Entertainment News. My name is Harriet Adi. Bridget.
Thank you very much, Harriet. International news is next.
United Kingdom leader Liz Truss addresses important topics in her first appearance before the Parliament for the purpose of funding her plans to address the energy problem. British Prime Minister Liz Truss has ruled out a windfall tax on oil. During her first session of Prime Minister's questions in the House of Commons, Truss rejected calls from the opposition for a new windfall tax while remaining silent about how she would fund a plan to assist the public in paying energy costs that have skyrocketed as a result of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. In western Uganda, at least 15 people perished after a landslide caused by heavy rains buried their homes due to its location in the foothills of the Rwenzori Mountains, which share a border with the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kasisi district, where the disaster took place, is vulnerable to landslides, particularly during the rainy season. Irene Nakasita, a spokeswoman for the Uganda Red Cross, said in a statement that the majority of those slain were women and children. The European Union's executive body has proposed capping the price of Russian gas within hours of Russia's leader condemning the idea. The energy prices have soared in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, forcing the EU's 27 states into action. Chief Ursula von der Leyen says Russia's revenues, which Putin uses to finance this atrocious war, must be cut.
And that's it for Newsnight here on Metro Television. A quick recap of the stories that made headlines tonight. And the Chinese embassy in Ghana has broken its silence on Aisha Wan's arrest, urging authorities to deal with Chinese galamsey suspects in accordance with Ghanaian laws. District Chief Executive Kwesi Bonzo, detained by police following scuffle over missing excavators retrieval, says she has been denied access to her client. And government given a week's ultimatum to pay delayed allowances due nurses and midwifery trainees in a protest march lasting several hours along some principal streets of the capital, Accra. And the spokesperson said they are preparing to pay them. And Ghanaians in South Africa prevented from accessing healthcare and other public facilities as xenophobic protests and attacks become imminent. On the international front, we looked at the 15 people who have died after heavy rains triggered landslides in Uganda, among other stories. My producer for tonight, Obodai Togbo Ashon, will be on at 9 p.m. with Community Watch. Make a date with them. I hope they are in one Ghana community, bringing us all that is happening with respect to Homo War. My name is Bridget Otu, my floor manager Jennifer, and my producer Solomon all joined us tonight. Good evening.